don't necessarily believe that anyone deserves to die. I do believe that all narcissists deserve to be shot. I consider myself to be a reasonable, mature human being. You know, I'm approachable. Anyone can come up and talk to me because I really do try to be a nice and kind person. It's important to try. That's actually why I got this mindfulness app, which I'd show you, but I don't have my phone on me. Ugh. Anyway, I had seen a couple of my mutuals using it, and I thought, now there is a good, useful app. And like, I don't know how much I actually got around to using it. You know, I'm just so busy these days, but it's a nice thought, you know, like a good first step. You have to at least have intent. Most people, they don't really have intent. They don't even care. I actually told my friend Sarah about the app. Well, she's my ex-friend. We don't really talk anymore, but that's, well, I'll get into it. Anywho, I told my friend about this app, but she didn't seem really interested. So I had to insist on it. You know, if anyone needs it, it's her. So she asked me.
So it's good? Like, it's helped you?
Well, I haven't actually used it at all, but my mooks really do swear by it. And then she like totally derails. She says,
What's a moot?
and so I called her out on it because she's always changing the subject, and honestly, it feels a little egotistical. She is so egocentric. So anyway, she says she's not really interested in the app, especially if I haven't used it. And then she calls me a hypocrite. Like, I'm sorry, I'm trying to help her improve herself, and now she's insulting me. Like, hello, I am not the bad guy here. At least I got the mindfulness app. You know what I mean? Like, bad people, they don't care about being mindful. I do. It's the intent that counts. Well, eventually she caves and she gets the app. But then she doesn't even use it. She says...
There's too many ads.
Like, are you actually joking? You can't sit through a few short little ads even if it means improving yourself? Give me a break. So anyway, we don't really talk after that. You know, I made it pretty clear that I needed space. And I'm a fair person, you know? I give credit where credit is due. I'm not trying to villainize her or anything. God, no. She does do a pretty good job at respecting my boundaries. You know, she doesn't text me or anything. But fucking then, she does the most out-of-pocket, manipulative shit I've ever seen. Like, honestly, I don't even think I can do justice to all that she said, but basically, she's like, "Hey, happy 19th birthday. I hope you're having an awesome day. I know you wanted space, but I wanted to let you know that I was thinking of you. I'm still trying to understand what all went wrong, and honestly, I feel a little hurt myself. But I'm trying to make sense of these feelings. Still, I'm sorry that I upset you, and I'm so sorry for not giving the app more of a shot. I guess it was important to you, and maybe I should have tried to indulge you a little better. I just wish we could have handled it a little more maturely. But what's done is done, and I just want you to know that I still care about you, and I'm wishing you the best on your special day."
I love you.
I'm sorry, what? Literally, how much audacity do you have to send that to me on my birthday? I'm thinking of you? What kind of stalker shit? I mean, can you believe that? Oh, and the way she gives that half-assed apology before trying to shift all the blame onto me, and then following that with, "I love you and I care about you." I'm not crazy, right? Like, this is classic love bombing, right? Literally trying to get my guard down by saying a bunch of nice words and crap. Well, that shit doesn't work with me, I'll tell you that. So, anyway, I ignore her. And then I block her because, honestly, I just wanted to forget it all. And I was just so done with that girl. That is until a couple weeks ago when I was at home bedrotting, you know, just scrolling through TikTok. And then all of a sudden, I started getting these videos about covert narcissism. Now, I am in no way a mental health professional, but that doesn't mean I can't educate myself on these things. Like, you know, it's important to stay informed. So I click on the narcissistic abuse tag, and as I'm swiping, I start to realize a lot of this feels really familiar. Love bombing, manipulation, issues with boundaries, jealousy. Dude, Sarah can be so jealous. Like, this one time I had to tell her off because she complained about how much I talk about my boyfriend. First of all, I'm so sorry that I'm so uninteresting that I can only talk about the one good thing in my life. No, that's totally my fault. Aren't I just the worst? Second of all, jealousy much? I mean, it's not my fault she's never had a successful relationship, which, by the way, is telling. Like, I'm not making any diagnoses, but when someone can't get along with others, it's weird. And, you know, it's so dangerous too, because these people fly completely under the radar. And they're smart about it too. Like, this one video I was watching, this guy was talking about how narcissists tend to be intelligent, articulate, and confident. Like, they lure you in by making you think that they're, like, normal, maybe even trustworthy. Like, they know what they're talking about, but the whole time, they're just using you for their own agenda. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he actually had some really interesting information. I was thinking about buying some of his books. Anyway, I was thinking about all this, and I start to realize, oh my gosh, Sarah prides herself on her intelligence. Like, she always has to be the smartest person in the room, and she can never talk like a normal fucking person. Genuinely, half the time she sounds like a robot. And for what? To make you feel stupid? I'll say it again, I am not a psychologist, but you know, it doesn't take a psychology degree to notice these things. I don't want you to go getting the wrong idea. Just because someone is diagnosed with narcissism does not automatically make them a bad person. You know, like, actions speak louder than words. A narcissist can totally go to therapy to fix themselves and make sure they don't hurt more people. Everyone can change. Even bad people. So anyway, after learning a bit more, I decided to reach out to Sarah. But lo and behold, she has me blocked. So I tried talking to her sister, but she totally blows me off, which actually does not surprise me because I always kind of thought her sister was an enabler. But whatever, I'm persistent. So I tried emailing her, which was totally a low moment because, like, really, who uses email these days? But yeah, I said I needed to talk to her, and she completely ignores me. I do guess that makes sense because, like I said, email. No one uses it. But eventually, I go, hey, I'm a big girl. I can just go to her house. See, I'm not afraid of confrontation. Most people, they try to avoid conflict, you know, they try to be nonchalant or whatever, but maybe people should be more chalant. Anyway, I show up at her house, and Sarah is not having it.
What the fuck do you want?
Did you read my email?
Who uses email?
Fair enough. That's besides the point. We need to talk. But Sarah doesn't want that. Of course she doesn't. She never does. Like, dude, I get it. Confrontation is scary, but you're a grown fucking adult and you need to get over yourself. But whatever. I don't have time for childishness. So I give her an ultimatum. And look, I know ultimatum is a scary word and a lot of people don't like giving them. But sometimes you have to. If it's to preserve your own mental health, if a relationship is draining you, then you're out of there. You don't owe anyone anything.
What?
You and I talk right now or we're done. You got that? You know, she actually has the audacity to think about it. Like, girl, what's not clicking? You can either swallow your pride or I can walk away and we never talk to each other again. It's a simple choice. Well, finally she lets me in. And we're talking in the kitchen and I say to her, I'll cut to the chase. I think you're a raging narcissist and I think you should get that checked out.
What?
I guess that offends her, but that doesn't surprise me. Narcissists hate it when you call them out for what they are. But then she gets this hurt look on her face, and already I'm thinking, ugh, she's gonna play the victim.
I was kind of hoping we could have a mature conversation.
I didn't mean it as an insult. I'm genuinely worried about you.
Oh. So, what TikTok did you pick that up from?
Ha ha ha, she's so funny. Don't you just love it when people act like they're so much better than you because they don't have TikTok? Like, yeah, we get it. You're so much better than everyone else. You're so special and unique. Do you want a fucking cookie? Like, shut up? Like, shut up! Shut up! Yeah, so I'm already bugging from this point. So I look at her and I say, you and I both know that you have a fucking problem and it's fucking selfish that you keep ignoring it.
What problem?
The one I just told you about. I don't know, maybe if she at least acted like she cared about what I was saying, I wouldn't have been so pissed. But she never listens. And she's never cared about anything I have to say, right? Like, just recently, it's the shit with the mindfulness app. But before that, it was a million other things. And, you know, the more I think about it, the more I realize this shit always happens to me. Like, I don't know what it is about me that attracts them, but Every friendship I've ever had turns out to be toxic. Right? Like, I can't be making diagnoses or anything, but I wouldn't be so surprised if it turns out my ex was a narcissist. Or my best friend from high school. But, I mean, at least they were obvious with it. Sarah, she was subtle. Like, acting like she was slick or some shit. But I am so sick of being taken advantage of. I'm a nice person. I'm helpful. I'm good to these people, but, I mean, I guess that was my first mistake. Being a pushover. Fuck, I was so naive. But you know what? You can only push a girl so far before she snaps. And it was about time that I woke up. So I push her and I say, "You're a fucking narcissist and you need to get that checked out.
You're acting like a fucking bitch.
I am not the bad guy. I'm the one who educated myself. I'm the one who tried to approach this maturely. I'm the one who got the fucking mindfulness app. I'm not the fucking bad guy. Apologize. You need to apologize."
Get the fuck out of my house, you fucking psycho!
This is where I might have taken things a little too far. And would you look at that? Narcissists are human. They bleed red just like me or you. She falls to the ground eventually, and I'm just like on top of her, up close and personal. And it's just like in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. And I just keep stabbing her, like, again and again and again, because she's a terrible fucking person and I wanted her dead. There was blood like everywhere, you know, just like warm and squelching in my hand, and it was like, whoa, like the sound that a knife makes as it's ending a pathetic bitch's life, indescribable. Like, that shit is better than drugs, I swear to God. Well, I do eventually come back to myself, and it's like, womp womp, I really just killed someone. What do I do now? Baby, I really need your help, but promise not to be mad at me. So yeah, things did get a bit out of hand, but I was just defending myself. You know, like, none of this would have had to happen if she would have just listened to me. And obviously I'm sad she's dead. You know, like, she was my friend after all, but you reap what you sow. You know, you can only push someone so far before they snap. And when you go around subtly abusing people your entire life, eventually one of them is going to fight back. Like, I know this sounds selfish, but I really was just thinking of myself. Sometimes you have to put yourself first. And I think it's about high time that we start normalizing that. You know, like, it's important to be selfish sometimes. You don't owe anyone anything. And again, I don't necessarily believe that anyone deserves to die, but sometimes you're left with no other choice. I made a judgment call that day, and I can't bring myself to regret standing up for myself. I was just doing what I thought was right. And at the end of the day, I really do consider myself to be a kind and reasonable human being.